Thank you so much, Bukola. So, of course, we're still monitoring the election, and so far, what we've been told by security agencies and operatives are that so far it's been peaceful. There hasn't been any major violent reports across the 30 local government areas of the state. I'm very sure they are also monitoring, but as far as we know and what we are reporting, we've not been able to lay our hands on any form of violence. However, there are reports of vote buying that have been cited. Arrests, police say they've made, and the citizens say they have also made arrests. And we understand that even the EFCC are on the ground and they're monitoring, and in fact there is a covert operation. They're swooping in on some of those who are dispensing this money to buy and sell votes. That's how far we know as of now. The concrete evidence and the outcome of their investigation is yet to be seen. And of course, what you can see in the background is the fact that some voters are just trickling in, and after all the long queues that we saw at about 8:30 a.m., everything cleared out, and the voting officials are already clearing the desk, waiting for 2:30 p.m. when they can effectively call this election closed as far as this polling unit is concerned. But there is a stakeholder in this whole electoral process that INEC is indebted to. Perhaps the nation is also indebted to some of these young people. They're those who are serving the compulsory one-year youth service in the nation. They are the NYSC ad hoc officials. And at this moment, I have the Director General of the NYSC, Brigadier General Father. Thank you so much, General, for coming on Channels Television.
Thank you, Sean.
Let me start by asking you, you call them your children.
Sure. There.
Yeah, so how many of them did you deploy or did you give out to INEC for this election?
About 10,000 core members.
10,000 of them?
10,000.
Oh, great. So give us, you've gone round. Give us an understanding of what you have seen so far, what you observed. Perhaps you were in Ekiti compared to Osun State. What are your observations?
The place is more peaceful than Ekiti because everywhere there are never any report of violence. Everybody is peaceful like Sallah Day. Everywhere is peaceful. They are doing their things just in a very peaceful manner. And there are never any negative reports so far.
Now, if you look at what is happening with your core members, you had a certain meeting with INEC on the operation, on the welfare, and would you say they've so far been well treated?
To some extent, I'm very comfortable that there's no report of any negative thing, and their morale was high. I was with them yesterday, and everybody was happy. And I gave them room to ask questions or lay complaint if there's anything. They are okay for now.
This handshake between INEC and the NYSC, how would you describe it?
A good relationship for national development. And I'm happy the relationship is very well cordial. Very cordial.
For these young ones, these NYSC core members who are participating in this election, what do you think they hold in their minds? It's serving the nation and participating in this democratic process. What kind of mindset do you think this gives them?
Most of them are happy, and they know that they are doing a national service, and they are very happy for that.
Finally, before I allow you to go, because I know that you are monitoring and going around to see what is happening to your children, as you call them. On a final note, what do you make of the Osun election, and perhaps what you have seen so far, vis-a-vis the deployment of your officials, and perhaps what could be improved upon going forward?
Sincerely, I'm very satisfied with what I saw. It's very peaceful, but in life, always there is room for improvement. But I cannot pinpoint that this is where they will improve upon. But there's certainly improvement with what we saw in Ekiti, because this one is more like Sallah festivity. Everybody is relaxed and there's no much stress or tension in Osun.
Brigadier General M.K. Fada, the Director General of the NYSC. Thank you so much indeed for speaking to us on Channel Television. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Well, you heard Bukola. I mean, that's the expectation. That is the mood from the DG of NYSC. The Brigadier General is giving us his view on how he feels things have gone and perhaps the need for improvement in the coming elections. We're waiting to 2:30 when this exercise perhaps will be over. And as we know, it's been peaceful so far. Bukola.
Indeed, Seun. Very quickly, just before I let you go this time, there have been concerns of vote buying, and I heard earlier the Director General of one of the monitoring civil society organizations say that one of the rules is that voters are not supposed to be allowed to take their phones into the voting booth. Seun, from what you have observed, is there any kind of enforcement ongoing in some of the polling units that you have monitored to see to it, indeed, that voters are not taking in their phones into the voting booth?
So, Bukola, just see just behind me, if we can put in view the ballot box and the cubicle that's standing right in front of it. In some areas where you have the police monitoring closely, they're not allowing this kind of incident to happen, where you take your telephone. There, as far as we know, we're saying, because we keep our eyes on that. That's one mode, the model that the politicians are probably employing in some parts of the town. But so far here, we've not been able to cite those kind of errors. But I mentioned earlier that they have devised new and innovative means of bypassing the rule and the law as far as votes buying is concerned. It's not conspicuous right on this ground, maybe because our cameras are everywhere in this center. But, I mean, there are reports, but, I mean, we shouldn't let the cat out of the bag because investigations are ongoing, and the EFCC said they're sweeping on some of those who are buying votes already. And, of course, we get that report to our viewers right here on Channel Television.